then as an aggregate, as a whole, that will come into phase and out of phase and into phase, and that's as it should be, because as the group, as each individual moves and explores different sides, there's going to be toxicities that need medicine over here, and then you have to give up what's making you sick for a while. But once you spend too much time over here, that starts to make you sick, and you need to swing back. And so there, we have this with President Carter, for example. President Carter is, a pattern of energy. Oh, he ruined this. Well, first he was a breath of fresh air, like after Nixon and stuff. Could we just have a decent human being, please? Right? Okay, here's a decent human being. Oh, but he was so dumb and da. Well, now we get round to the Trump era, and it's like, remember the good old Carter years. An honest man helping the people, Habitat for Humanity. That's what we need more of, right? And so you always need what you don't have. And so I imagine Lazaris will oscillate in and out with varying degrees of cultural relevance, not much because, there's so little known, but certainly within Lazaris friends, that is a point. That is actually a good point. Lazaris did say that. And then it kind of opens up a little bit. So things need to breathe. And my main point in all of this is, one, to highlight that Lazaris is not symmetrical, right? Lazaris is way off in a number of continuum points. And two, that whenever you have extremes of that nature, it's going to be highly medicinal or highly toxic, depending on where you are. Like if you've inhaled all that you possibly can, and some teacher tells you, now inhale everything, you just got sick, right? If someone at that moment says, exhale, then that's life, right? But if then they tell you to exhale again, you get sick, right? And so it's all about where you are in these cycles. And so I think the only really dangerous position in relationship with Lazaris is desperate attachment. I have nowhere to turn other than Lazaris. And so you just keep eating chocolate cake and it makes you sick and you just don't know where else to turn. And so diversifying one's diet, I would guess, is the message that I've learned. Because, I went from an oversaturation of Lazaris to saying, hey, I can't deal with any of this. And now I'm more like, okay, 20% Lazaris in these areas, that feels like a good dose to my diet. At that rate, it's medicinal. At that rate, it's encouraging. I mean, you don't eat teaspoons of vitamin D3 either, right? You have a little pellet, right? So and the more concentrated something is, the more important it is to dose it. So anyway, good luck in your dosing. And it's coming up on Christmas, so a Merry Christmas.